There are moments in life when something enters so quietly that the mind almost misses it, but the body does too. Your chest tightens for no obvious reason. Your defenses rise even though no threat is present. The ego, that familiar inner voice built to protect, impress, control, and survive, suddenly feels unsettled. This is not the rush of infatuation or the drama of desire. This is something far more disturbing to the ego and far more profound to the soul. This is the encounter with true love. True love is often romanticized as comfort, safety, and endless reassurance. But the truth is more paradoxical. Before it becomes safe, it is terrifying. Before it feels like home, it feels like exposure. True love does not arrive to complete your image or validate your persona. It arrives to dismantle the false structures you relied on for years. And the ego, whose job is to maintain those structures, cannot handle this without resistance. What makes true love so frightening is not the other person, but what they awaken inside you. When you meet someone who sees beyond your masks, who responds not to your performance but to your essence, something ancient stirs. The usual games don't work. The strategies that once gave you power, charm, withdrawal, people-pleasing, control, emotional distance, suddenly feel useless. This is deeply unsettling to the ego because it thrives on predictability and leverage. True love offers neither. One of the greatest misunderstandings about love is that fear means something is wrong. In reality, fear often arises when something is profoundly right but unfamiliar. The ego is conditioned by past wounds, attachments, and survival patterns. It knows how to navigate chaos, inconsistency, and conditional affection. It knows how to earn love, chase it, negotiate for it, or protect itself from losing it. What it does not know how to handle is a connection that asks for presence instead of performance, honesty instead of strategy, and surrender instead of control. True love does to seduce the ego. It confronts it. It does say, be better, so you can be loved. It says, be real. And that demand alone is enough to shake the foundations of who you think you are. Suddenly, your old identity feels fragile. You may notice an urge to pull away, to find flaws, to create distance, or to intellectualize what you were feeling. The ego will label this discomfort as danger, boredom, or loss of freedom. But beneath those labels is a deeper truth. The ego senses that it is no longer in charge. Most people spend their entire lives chasing a shadow they call love. They follow a checklist, the right height, the right income, the right social status. They believe they are making a conscious choice. But what if the part of you that thinks it in control is actually blind? There is a terrifyingly beautiful truth beneath the surface. You don't choose love. Love chooses you. Guided by an ancient map, etched into the deepest layers of your psyche and the collective memory of humanity. This map does care about your comfort. It does care about your preferences. It cares about your wholeness. Within every human being exists a missing piece, a sacred fragment of the self that was buried long ago. And to recover it, the universe does not give you a partner who keeps you safe inside your limitations. It gives you a mirror. If your romantic life feels like a series of chaotic accidents, you may be misreading the signs. What looks like randomness is often precision. Today, we decode 3 unmistakable signs that you are no longer following the shallow desires of the ego, but are instead walking the ancient path toward true love. This is not a journey to find a perfect person. It is a journey to find your lost self through the eyes of another. The first sign is something psychologists call uncanny recognition. In modern dating, people talk about sparks or chemistry, but this is different. This is the sudden, jarring feeling that the stranger in front of you is someone you have known forever. A sense of familiarity that bypasses logic entirely. Inside every person lives an inner counterpart, a hidden masculine or feminine soul image. These are not personality traits. They are powerful, autonomous forces within the psyche. For most of life, these missing aspects remain unconscious. We feel an unnamed emptiness and try to fill it with success, validation, or distraction. Then you meet someone who activates this inner image. Through projection, your psyche places your missing piece onto another human being. Suddenly they feel larger than life. The attraction becomes magnetic, numinous, unavoidable. This is not just desire. It is psychic necessity. You are recognizing yourself. Your rational mind may object. This person may not fit your type. They may come from a different world. But something deeper speaks and says, there you are. Conversations feel effortless. Silences feel meaningful. It's as if both of you are reading from the same ancient script written long before either of you existed. This recognition is powerful, but it is also dangerous. You are not seeing the person yet. You are seeing your own inner divinity reflected back at you. The map leads you here not to possess another, but to reveal what is missing within you. This recognition is the hook. The invitation into transformation. When attraction feels like destiny, when recognition settles into your bones without explanation, the ego loses control. It becomes a passenger. The map takes the wheel, but the map does not lead to comfort. To reach the treasure, it leads you through fire. The second sign is the arrival of alchemical chaos. Modern culture teaches that love should be easy, that struggle means failure. But real transformation is born from friction. When two psyches truly meet, something reacts and both are changed. If you are on the ancient path, the relationship becomes a vessel of transformation. You are drawn to this person precisely because they can awaken your shadow, the parts of you you have suppressed, denied, or judged as unacceptable. Your anger, your fear, your shame, your hidden desires. With superficial connections, both people agree to keep these parts hidden. Masks stay on. But when the connection is real, the masks fall. Suddenly, the person who felt like your missing piece begins to irritate you in ways no one else can. They push buttons you did. Know existed. They draw out emotions that feel raw, irrational, and overwhelming. Many people leave here. They mistake discomfort for incompatibility. They retreat back to safety. But if you stay, you realize the chaos has purpose. This fire exists to burn away the ego. True love is not comfort. It is death and rebirth. The person you love becomes a mirror that reflects your darkness, so clearly you can no longer deny it. You discover that what angers you most in them is often what you refuse to face in yourself. The conflict is not destruction. It is forging. This phase is painful, messy, and sacred. It is the sound of two souls being reshaped. If your relationship forces growth that feels uncomfortable but necessary, you are still on the map. The ego wants peace. The soul wants wholeness. The third and final sign is the emergence of synchronicity and the birth of a third presence. Synchronicity refers to meaningful coincidences that feel too precise to be random. When aligned with the ancient map, the outer world begins to mirror the inner journey. You may notice shared wounds from long before you met, parallel life events, repeated symbols, shared dreams. These are not accidents. They are signals that you have touched the underlying unity beneath appearances. The universe quietly confirms you are on the right path. These moments act as markers through the chaos, encouraging you to continue when the fire becomes intense. Over time, something shifts. The relationship stops being me versus you. A third presence emerges, the relationship itself. This bond becomes a living entity with its own direction and purpose. You are no longer together merely for comfort or convenience. You are together to serve something greater. The relationship begins to guide you when to speak, when to forgive, when to let go, when to move forward. Life enters a state of flow. Opportunities arise, problems resolve through unlikely turns. You move beyond personal desire into something transpersonal. You are no longer two people trying to fit together. You are participants in a single movement toward integration. When your union makes the world feel more coherent, when coincidences multiply, when love feels like a mission rather than attachment, you have reached the heart of the map. The destination is not perfection. It is wholeness. This path is not for the faint of heart. It is not the fantasy promised by movies. It is the path of the real. Many try to be good partners and remain empty. Those who follow the signs recognition, chaos, and synchronicity find something greater than goodness. They find integration. True love is the process of the soul finding itself through another. It is the surrender of the isolated self so that something larger can live. If this message reached you at the exact moment you needed it, consider that your first synchronicity. Do not let it fade. Commit to the journey. If you recognize yourself in these signs, do not fear the struggle. The fire exists only to remove what no longer serves you. The question is simple. Will you keep following the ego, safe directions, or will you trust the ancient map? Stay conscious. Stay whole.